Hello and welcome to the Team Meta College Conference Spring Showdown. Orange corner as red. Oh my goodness, watching it as it
being like a void space for community building.
Now you can see these freshmen and sophomores that have not had that interaction at all. They're completely online because of COVID.
Is it go? Oh my gosh, Osaka!
Welcome back to Age of Coronavirus, College Edition. We're here talking with Mark Valdoria. He is the Esports Coordinator for Concordia University, Texas, and was responsible for establishing the first esports varsity program in Central Texas itself. Now, he's overseeing 4 different games from Overwatch, League of Legends, Super Mario Smash Brothers, and Rocket League. Please welcome to the show, Mark. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me here.
Well, tell us how you are able to handle all these games, coordinate them with each other.
So, I've been an avid gamer my entire life, from Sega Genesis, PS1, PS2, Xbox 360, pretty much all the consoles, the PC. And so I've been keeping track with a lot of the different games. Obviously, I'm no expert in one single game. So I'm able to identify students that have the capability to kind of lead the team, that have the maturity and the leadership skills that you could observe from a player, and kind of identify those players as team captains. And they are the ones that are kind of leading the charge as far as, what they need to do for practices, what they need to work on as a team, and what they need to do to improve as a player.
Tell us how you were able to start one of the first varsity esports programs in Central Texas. What were the difficulties and the challenges in that process?
Yeah, so our story's kind of a little bit different, where the approach came top down, whereas most esports varsity teams come organically, where colleges already have, an esports club within the university. What happened with Concordia was that we realized that we do not want to lag behind other universities that are exploring this option. And so in fall of summer 2018, Concordia had a meeting about esports, and, kind of threw it in there because we were looking to add another, athletic program. Luckily, esports was kind of thrown in there as a joke, but a couple of weeks later, that became more of a serious discussion. Next thing you know, one of the challenges that we had to work with was really, uniting everyone in Concordia to really buy into this project. So instead of making it difficult for myself doing everything, we were able to work with IT, with facilities, with athletics. So a lot of different departments were involved at Concordia, and we were able to work together to, put together this esports program in a little over under a year.
Wow. So you did it during the age of coronavirus, is that correct?
It was a year prior to coronavirus. It was our second year that we got affected.
Did the coronavirus slow things down, or did you find it somewhat beneficial?
Both, I would say. Both, because it slowed things down for our program, as far as, some of our players do not have the same access to the PCs that we provide at the university. Right. And since campus was locked down, they weren't able to come to campus, and so we had to postpone and kind of just suspend our season. Beneficial for some players, they were able to get more practices in, and esports as a whole just benefited from, everyone being remote, working from home, and we kind of saw that with, the console sales, especially the Switch, that was out of stock for the longest time, and even now the PS5s and the Xboxes are still hard to find. Same with the graphics cards for NVIDIA or AMD. So we could definitely see how much esports is gaining traction outside of the competitive realm or collegiate level.
Well, Texas is just now opening up fully. How is this accelerating your program?
Definitely bringing a lot more attention to esports, like I mentioned. Since a lot of the traditional athletics are suspended as well, especially with coronavirus, right, and how sensitive the pandemic is. Esports kind of took that role where, it's the entertainment for the people, as far as one of the only active sports, if some people could call it a sport. Because everyone's able to play online, and we are able to put our brand out there through streams, through social media, and so this definitely helps progress our program and also esports in general.
Wonderful. And what's your favorite game coordinating with?
Oh, my favorite game in our program, kind of biased. I'm an Overwatch player. I've been playing Overwatch since the game came out. So I would say that's probably my favorite game.
What's the next steps for your program? How are you going to bring more students into the fold?
I think the next steps in our program is honestly growing more of the, I guess the not the non-competitive side, because most people will see esports as the players itself, the players playing and competing for the university. But I think the next step for our university is really looking behind that, behind the scenes, people who do social media, content managing, the streaming, broadcasting. I think these are all great aspects that's often overlooked in esports. And there are also great career options after you graduate. So for Concordia to take that next step, I think we need to up our level as far as streaming, casting, getting our content out there, and really just capturing the attention of all these students, potential students and recruits, uh, about our program and showing them, these are the players that we have, these are the opportunities you'll find at our university, and this is the facility that you'll be using.
Are you looking into more high schools?
Yes, definitely. So we are looking to high school esports league, all the different tournaments that are thrown out there, put together that are comprised of high school students that are getting ready to graduate, or even if they're a junior, we're looking to plant a seed early and see if they'd be interested in esports, especially an esports program that is considered a varsity program and also offering scholarships.
What's been the most surprising thing that you experienced trying to bring this program to young people?
One of the biggest surprises I have is really a lot of people see esports as a kind of like a side thing that they do. It's not really treated as much as a athletic program yet by a lot of parents and a lot of students. And we've seen examples of that throughout the past 2 years. A great example of that is, students not really taking their academics well. Well, for our program, we adapted and adopted the athletic handbook. And so we kind of just changed words around with, athletic student player to esports player. So they fall within the same standards of our athletic program, which means they have to maintain grades, they have to, be in good academic standing. And a lot of players just want to play the game. Parents don't really know what's going on. And so there's just misinformation about esports at the next level, especially the collegiate level, where you're required to actually do homework, go to your classes, ace your or pass your classes, and at the same time make your practices, make the games. So it's a little bit of balancing, time management, and a lot of high school students coming into collegiate don't really have that notion that, okay, I'm going to need to do this and this in order to succeed. Because what I've seen is most people just come in thinking, okay, I'm going to play an esports game. It's video games. This is kind of a hobby that I do. But it's really more than that at the collegiate level because we're taking it to the next step.
What way do you implement that drive for students to ace all their homework and do well in their classes?
So one of the biggest drives that I tell my students is really playing time. If you're not able to pass your classes, if you lag behind homework, I get emails about it from your professors and the athletic department. So we're really on top of it. They could lose their scholarship, they could lose their position on the team, and so they could also be suspended from the team. So these are some motivating factors to keep students kind of motivated in order to do well in classes. Other than that, it's just really appealing to their, to their individual side to improve because they came to the university to learn, and it's not really primarily for esports. Our goal at Concordia is to really recruit our students and also help them graduate and explore their careers once they graduate.
Where do you see your program going in the next, say, 2 to 3 years from now?
2 to 3 years from now, I'm hoping that we grow our current 13 PC arena to a bigger arena that can hold more people, allowing us to recruit more people, and also the things I talked about before, like the things that happen in the background, content creation, streaming, broadcasting. Hopefully, within 2 to 3 years from now, we'll have a big facility where we'll have a special area for that section.
Yeah, it's often always difficult to bring a level of production value. It just costs a lot of money. Do you find that the college is spending the appropriate amount of money right now, or could they bring more to the fold?
I think it really depends on the university because we've approached different universities of different sizes when we were starting our program, and everyone kind of has a different budget for their esports program. Obviously, Division 1 universities have an easier way of getting these fundings approved, whereas Division 3 and smaller schools like us, we kind of have to be strategic in what we need to do as far as the broadcasting and streaming goes. But for the most part, I believe a lot of universities are willing to spend as much as they can in order to push the cost of esports. And some universities just have more funding than others, and others will just have to look for ways such as using free platforms like OBS, Streamlabs, and doing what we can in order to just put out some content out there.
Yeah, sometimes it takes a bit of time for you to. It's a stepping stone process, I guess you would say.
Yes, I agree.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming on board and letting us know where you stand in the varsity programs in Central Texas. And we'd love to hear about this more as time goes on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Welcome back to Age of Coronavirus College Edition. We're here talking with Grace Ramsey. She is a senior at Pepperdine University. She's majoring in philosophy and rhetoric leadership. And she's also serving as the Pepperdine Esports team manager, which manages 3 competitive teams: Valorant, League of Legends, and Super Mario Smash Brothers Ultimate. How you doing today, Grace?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing great myself. So tell us more about your program. I know you have a something called the Beyond the Game Mentorship pilot program. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, well, our program at Pepperdine, the Pepperdine Esports program, is housed in our Student Affairs Department under Campus Recreation. We are considered a club team, which is not a student club. It's a unofficial, not NCAA competitive team. That's what club teams are. Okay. And so our director is Rob Bolton. He's the director of campus recreation and esports. Esports got added to his title as well, and we're in our 2nd year. This year, in the age of coronavirus, we decided that we were going to start working with NASEF and the San Diego County Department of Education and create this Beyond the Game mentorship program, or borrow the name, but create a new program with us and high schools to help raise the next generation of digital citizens and prepare gamers for life beyond high school, college, and potentially careers in the esports and gaming industry. So that's a little bit about our program and about that mentorship program overall.
Very cool. How quickly of an acceleration are you seeing in esports so far?
Well, the coronavirus really didn't hold us back much at all. Just a few logistical things were made a little bit more difficult, but as an esports organization, we were disproportionately prepared to go all online. And for Pepperdine, at least in that first semester, we were one of the few campus activities that was able to continue on. So we've seen tremendous growth in our Twitch streams, in our average viewership. We've seen growth in the administration's interest in esports, in their investment in us. We're actually in the process of rebranding officially as a part of the university. And just overall, we've seen growth not only in just average student participation, but also in administrative support. So it's really been, while the coronavirus has been hard, it's been in a way sort of beneficial to our program.
I want to hear more about the administration at Pepperdine, and are they surprised at how big the program is getting?
I think that we're fortunate in that our president, Jim Gash, actually used to be the dean of the Pepperdine Caruso School of Law. And the law school actually held a law and esports summit, which is what kind of sparked our program being started in the first place. That's where our director of campus rec really got the idea to start our program. So we were fortunate in that he understood to an extent the benefits of esports and what an esports program would bring. So when Rob Bolton started our program, we've had a tremendous amount of support from our administration, though that support has only gotten more and more enthusiastic. And in fact, last semester, we were actually able to host an event where our president, Jim Gash, and our vice president of student affairs, Connie Horton, participated with our League of Legends team and played a friendly match against each other. So it's only grown, and you can find that online, and it was a really fun time. So we have a great amount of support from our administration that's only continued to grow.
Which game in your program are students finding themselves gravitating to more often?
Our League of Legends team is kind of our premier program right now. We currently have a head coach for that team as well as an assistant coach. And we were the WCC, or West Coast Conference, our NCAA conference champions in the 2 tournaments that were run by the West Coast Conference last year. So that's what tends to get the most viewership on our channels and what most students are interested in when looking at our program.
Very cool. And what is the future of your program as far as, are you going to be adding more games into the roster? Do you have any ideas for that?
Yes, definitely. We add games based on student interest. So if we have students who want to get together and form a team, we will have that team be made. That's what happened with our Valorant team this year. We had a group of 5 students who came together who wanted to play Valorant. So we added that team. We're currently looking at adding Rocket League right now, or Magic the Gathering Arena. So it's all just based on student interest. So we are game to add as many programs or as many games as students are interested in competing in.
Grace, how did you get into team management for esports?
Well, I had sort of an interesting little route. Back in April of 2019, or late March of 2019, Campus Recreation held an interest meeting for the esports teams, more so geared towards getting students to sign up to compete. And I went, even though I love esports and I love esports titles, I'm not necessarily the best in terms of rank and play. So after that, I went up to Rob Bolton, our director, and basically said, hey, I would love to help out in whatever way possible. And he invited me to come talk to him at his office. And I don't think he quite knew it was a job interview when I went, but I treated it as such. And I was hired soon after in April to come on and be the team manager for the team. So that's how I got involved. I kind of created this position and have been chugging forward ever since.
You're majoring in philosophy and rhetoric and leadership, and how does philosophy factor into how you work with the students?
Yeah, I'm a philosophy major partially because I'm planning to go on and I'm committed to go on to law school at Pepperdine and their Masters of Dispute Resolution program. But I view philosophy and my rhetoric and leadership background as kind of coming together. And it gives me a foundation of ethical servant leadership, which is also a big part of Pepperdine. Pepperdine wants to prepare students for lives of purpose, service, and leadership. It's right there in their mission statement. And I take that to heart. And when I am in this leadership position, I want to have the highest ethical qualities. I want to be responsible. I want to be compassionate. And I want to make sure that I am helping all the students be as successful as they could possibly be. They're my peers, but I'm going to go on and be a graduate student. So eventually I will be, even more of a sort of mentor to them. So that's what I try to do. And, that's how philosophy plays into it. It's been basically the ethical framework by which I try my best to lead the teams.
What has been the most interesting aspect of managing the teams for the program?
I have to say the most interesting aspect has been what everybody's been teaching me about how to interact with people and how to supervise and how to work with people, because I'm learning far more from them than I think that they could ever learn or see from me in a lot of ways. All our teams are mostly men right now, mostly male. And so I've learned a lot about interacting with, groups of people that I probably wouldn't necessarily find myself in that situation otherwise, interacting with large groups of young men. And it's been interesting learning about them, learning about how I relate to them, and learning how we can best relate and communicate with each other. So that's all been very, very interesting and very worthwhile. And I think that's helped me grow a lot as a person.
Where do you see the future of this program going? What more could be done?
Oh, there is so much, and we are so excited about the direction of this program. We're always looking, like I said before, to add games. We're always trying to look for the next opportunity, starting the mentorship program, trying to get industry connections so we can place students in internships. And eventually, we're hoping that we get the support that we need to be able to move into a larger dedicated gaming space on campus so that more students than just the team can enjoy recreational gaming activities, so that we can form an even better community on campus of Pepperdine gamer scholars. And overall, I just see this growing and growing and becoming one of the hallmarks of Pepperdine and one of the main things that we're known for. We're known for our Christian values, our liberal arts education, and our esports team. That's the dream.
You said you were reaching out to high schoolers to get involved. How does Pepperdine do that?
Yeah, as part of our esports team, we've partnered with the San Diego County Department of Education and NASEF to kind of form this Beyond the Game mentorship program. We're currently in a pilot year where we're working with 2 high schools. And what we're doing is meeting with them and discussing topics like the importance of game life balance, of diversity and inclusion in gaming, and careers and college opportunities that come from being a gamer and being involved in esports. So we're reaching out to these high school students so that they know that there is more to gaming necessarily than just being on the Rift or being on the map, right? We're trying to show them that they can actually leverage this hobby and this thing that they love to make a worthwhile college and career decisions. So that's a big part of what we're doing, as well as just helping them learn the tools they need to be good digital citizens and well-rounded people.
I love the fact that esports is bringing together people who, in a few years back wouldn't have an outlet to experience and to hone that kind of craft. And I think that with the stigma against video games being lifted is going to blast esports to the moon.
Yes, definitely. In fact, at Pepperdine, we actually have interest communities now in our housing and residence life department. And those interest communities include like multicultural housing and stuff like that, but they're also adding an esports and gaming interest community where gamers can opt to live together, have access to a 24-hour gaming lounge, and be able to have that community together. So it's really breaking down that stigma and showing that, gamers, it's just another hobby like anybody else, but it can be just as healthy as any other hobby too. It can provide that community, it can provide that relaxation outlet, and it can help people have community when there are times like these when we're separated by, both social distance as well as actual super far legitimate distance, because at Pepperdine there's students now going all over the country because we're still mostly online, but gaming has been a way that a lot of students have been able to stay together and be able to have community, and we're just so thankful that we're able to provide that.
You've been around these students playing these games for a long time now. In your opinion, what is the biggest thing that they've learned in this time?
The power of teamwork, I think, is probably the biggest thing everybody on these different teams has learned. The power of working together, of communication, of being a part of a team, because when you're looking at your traditional gamers, some of them do have more traditional team-based experiences. We've had people who played baseball in high school or other sports like that. But for a lot of them, this is their first time coming together in a team-based activity, in a team-based competitive activity even. And so they're learning a lot about working together, about communicating when there are discrepancies in what people think is right and wrong, when there's conflict, working through that. And I think it's helping them all grow in maturity and helping them, prepare them for a life when they're going to have to work in teams and they're going to have these skills in order to be successful. So it's been really amazing to see, especially our coaching mentors, be able to help these students work together and learn these valuable life skills that come from communication and teamwork.
Very nice. Grace, thank you for joining us today and giving us an idea of just how far your program is going, and we hope to talk to you again about it.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be sticking around.
All righty. Thank you, Grace.